stable coins, yeah, that's where my bag at. All I really need is Wi-Fi, getting money on DeFi, mega cash on M.I.M.S. You better run when the runners run, show you how to get your money up. Dollar inflated like bubble gum, markets are jumping like double dutch. Buying up gold till I get a ton, crypto, yeah, I got some. You better run when the runners run, you better run when the runners run.
All right, welcome in everyone. It is Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. How do you measure your wealth? M.I.M.S is back to full strength. So my man, I'm excited to hear you just spit some straight fire and facts today. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing much better. The voice is still a little raspy, but I definitely can get more out with some more energy and bring some more value. We did a phenomenal show yesterday, folks, if you didn't catch it. But I definitely want to make sure people really grasp the opportunity, because timing and positioning is everything when it comes to opportunity to make more money, business, growth. And so we're just excited about the time and the opportunity that we're in this space. And then we also want to make sure that the proper mindset is received and the proper action is taking place for the opportunities that are available in this market right now. So we got to share some information. You know what I'm saying? Tonight, how do you measure your wealth? And all the time we tell you, measure your wealth in assets, ounces, quantity, skills, relationships, and so on. So we're going to get into it, folks.
Well, as always, Ricardo, we're going to look at the number one assets in the world. And as you can see, as usual, it is gold. Price at 1958, market cap just under 13 trillion. Then we have Apple, Microsoft, oil, Google, Amazon. And then we have silver at number 7 at 22.97, up about 3% this week. Facebook, Tesla, Berkshire, Bitcoin at 13, 28,331. So what do people need to still understand when it comes to, assets by market cap in the entire world?
Yeah, this is where the money is. This is where the assets and the wealth is. But the key thing is that how do you value your wealth? Obviously, you don't really want to value it in dollars, and we're going to get more into that, because the dollar is not a unit of wealth. The dollar does not hold value. You see what I'm saying? The dollar is losing its status and respect around the world. But as you can see, it was gold that was number 1, right? As you can see, it was silver coming in at number 7. And then, of course, then you have Bitcoin. And then when you realize that we're in a global reset right now, this is a shift. I know that it seems a little slow to some people, but things are accelerating at a pace that most people don't realize, because things are happening behind the scenes. Infrastructure is being put in place behind the scenes. Assets are being accumulated behind the scenes. Central banks have been buying more gold than they ever have in any time period in history. Silver is having a greater use, and there's less of it out there. And then, of course, we have Bitcoin halving coming up in 2024, and a Bitcoin ETF coming up as well. So there's a lot of opportunity just in those assets alone, when you're understanding the trajectory, where you're understanding the trend, and where this is going to be in the next year, 3 years, 5 years, and where is the best place for you to put your dollars. You see, because holding dollars is a losing strategy. You don't want to hold dollars. All right, because the dollar doesn't hold value. You want to hold on to assets, physical and digital, right? And so that's one of the, that's why we show that, to help people really understand, when you do have some extra dollars or disposable income, or when you're thinking about saving for the long term, do you save in dollars for the next 5 years? Or should you save in gold and silver and Bitcoin? Or should you, it's a mindset of understanding where the value is and where the value isn't.
So let's take a look at the crypto market, see how they're doing. Bitcoin's up about 5% this week. Stacks is up 17%. Caspa 11%, Rollbit 9%, Bitcoin Cash 8%, Solana 7%. Ricardo, I was thinking the other day, I might need to start buying some more Solana. Look at this chart here and how far down it is. So Solana right now is $23. Its peak was $250.
Wow.
So that's a 10x below from where it was in the last bull market. And, it's a layer 1 blockchain. I think it's a top 10 coin. So you got a 10x to where its peak was last, bull market. And, something to think about. Not a lot of coins are 10x down. I do know a couple though, Ricardo, that are also 10x. Is there any particular coin you wanted to look at that might be down even more than 10x?
Oh yeah, well, folks. So obviously we had the show yesterday, and obviously we're all excited for this whole month and going into next month because of the news that the SEC lost the TRO against the debt box and IX Global. We also were excited to see that the trust has begun buying again, so we see that function is working. And then we also have news about burns and stuff that have taken place and happenings that have taken place. And of course, we still get airdropped. Okay, those who have nodes in certain projects, airdrop still took place. But we want to help people understand something that so there's people who have nodes and are sitting on tokens, and obviously when the project tokens return to where we believe the price should be before the SEC came in and as it approached near all-time highs, there's a I would say almost time sensitive opportunity right now, unlike ever before, to be able to accumulate a massive amount of certain tokens in this ecosystem. Okay. Because of where the price is. And the thing is that when you really, the news hasn't come out yet, folks. Towards the end of the month, they're gonna have some major news. Of course, we talked about it about layer one, what's going on with the ecosystem, what's going on with Ghana in the over $1.5 trillion in natural gas, over $1 trillion in oil, what's going on with the oil pipelines in Oklahoma and things of this nature. So major news, which means major, money's coming into this ecosystem. Obviously, less tokens. Obviously, a lot of excitement coming. And this news is going to come out very soon. And so when you look at the next 90 days, where's the biggest bang for your buck? Where's your capital going to go the furthest in the next 90 days? And so even yesterday, Mike, we pulled up on the deck screen, 10X was in debt box alone, let alone Solana. 10X was in debt box from $4 to $40 at our all-time high, if that was the case. And obviously, we're talking about the tokenization of assets. And Solana ain't doing that. Okay. I'm not only here to talk about Solana. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm here to talk about Deadbox. The tokenization of assets is the next biggest boom in the bull market. Okay. World Economic Forum, anybody, BlackRock, all them, they'll tell you it's about the tokenization of assets. That is the Deadbox. They're leading the way in that area. And we already see the ecosystem has been working. And then we just beat the SEC. They came out and straight up lied. There aren't too many cryptocurrency projects that have went up against the SEC and had the type of results that we had. That gives us somewhat clarity of who we are and what we're doing, and that this is not fraud. So this is huge, folks. So, even if we just look at Debtbox alone, just that, if you were looking for a 10X, okay, I'll be better off with Debtbox because understand something, the Debtbox token hasn't released the layer one yet. And people don't understand that there are about 50 projects that are ready to pair the liquidity with debt. You're talking about tens of millions of dollars coming into this debt token project. Okay. So $40 is going to be not the all-time high for long. I can tell you that much right now. So that was a 10X just from where we are now to the all-time high. And that's not including layer one. That's not including everything else that's coming out. People have no idea how huge this project is. And in the SEC, they just put a big spotlight on us. They just made us look so good. All the haters came out and said, oh, we knew it. They didn't have the assets. It was fraud. Da, da, da. I had people on TikTok doing videos on me saying, oh, he was promoting a scam. It's a fraud and all that. Now they got egg in their face. Now they look stupid. Now they look real stupid, right? Because the debt box is legit. We beat the SEC on the TRO case and more great news to come out. So we got a legitimate project here. You know what I'm saying? We got a real project, tokenization of assets. And so there's a massive opportunity to buy these tokens right now at the bottom. And we're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you those numbers here. Just $500. I want to show you these numbers so people understand where is this? Where do you think this project is going to be in the next 90 days? And where would $500 be if you decide to put $500 in and buy tokens right now and sell it just before the SEC came in? Not even before Bev Day, right? We're going to show you the different points, from Bev Day to the SEC to all-time highs. But just from where the SEC came in, where's your money best, going to be as far as percentage gains and returns It's much better than Solana, Mike. I'm gonna show you that for sure.
So this is a great question by Bianca. She said, do y'all mind quickly simplifying what happens during a halving of a coin? Yes. So let's first start with Bitcoin, because I had somebody ask this question last night on the Zoom. A bear market is a market that tends to go down. A bull market tends to go up. So because Bitcoin is run by an algorithm or smart contract, a program, if you will, it's designed to do certain things at certain times. So every 4 years, Bitcoin has a halving or the halving. So you can go back and look at each halving and what happens after the halving. The first halving, Bitcoin was around $10, and then it went up to over 1,000. Okay. Then it comes back down, came back down to about 500 or so before the next halving in 2015. Then it went up to about 20,000. Then it came back down to about 4,000. This is when the pandemic started in March of 2020. Bitcoin was down to 6,000. Then it had its third halving. That's when it went up to about 65,000. Okay. And now we've dropped down, we hit 18,000, 16,000, and we're just kind of go along here. So when Bitcoin is in the blue, you want to buy. When it's in the red, you want to sell. If you want to, maximize your profits. So this happens every 4 years. The next halving is in about April. So the number of tokens or Bitcoins produced daily will be cut in half. Now, when it comes to debt, they have them, usually most of them are yearly, some of them are quarterly, but it just means the number of tokens produced is reduced. Thus, the supply becomes smaller. The demand grows, which typically leads to price appreciation. So, Mims, do you want to maybe explain here the burns and how that kind of plays into this ecosystem as well?
Yeah, and then the reason that halvenings are so exciting is because if you could just imagine where you have the same amount of buying pressure, if not greater, on a lower supply of anything that's available. So when you think about the laws of supply and demand, if you have the supply of something going down, but you have more money, more people, more value chasing that lower supply, that creates upward pressure on that particular item or that asset, right? So we get excited when we talk about Bitcoin halving because, like Mike said, not only is the supply has been cut in half, right? But also the output has been reduced as well. So even when it comes to the debt box projects, people might notice they say, I'm mining less now. Why am I mining less? You're mining less because the halving took place. Not only is there a lower supply, because the supply got in half, but you're also going to be mining less. But what that does is that makes the supply that's there now, and it creates upward pressure because of the demand. The money is still coming in. This is one of the features and functions that's so exciting about the debt box ecosystem, because we have the burns, we have the halvenings, we have the tax. So we have features in here that are constantly reducing the supply. And even if you have a supply that is constantly reducing, but the demand is equal, that still creates upward pressure. It doesn't matter if the demand increases. The demand can be the same. But if the supply constantly reduces, that will create upward pressure on the value of the tokens. So understand something. Not only do we have the supply going down, the mining, produced going down, but you have the demand, if not the same, greater. Okay. And then when you understand that debt box is dealing with the tokenization of assets, and if you understand inflation and you understand the value, the loss and purchase power of the dollar, these commodities become worth more. Okay. Which means that they're going to make more money on the sale of those commodities, which means we're going to have bigger burns, which means that there's going to be more upward pressure for the values of these tokens. So when you really understand that tokenomics, that supply and demand, that's what gets exciting. And then so even while the SEC, took the assets of the debt box, froze everything, The trust was still buying for a period of time, and we still had some burns. And you guys can see there a lot of the projects, although the burns weren't as big as we're used to, but that's because the trust wasn't buying, because the SEC stopped the trust from buying. So you know the ecosystem works, right? So I mean, just in Explorer, we had 1.5, over 1.5 million dollars in tokens bought and burnt. Okay, that mechanism creates upward pressure, right? As more buyers come in, there's less supply. That creates upward price projection on a lot of these projects. So you can see the burns for BGLD. They did about, what was that, $200 or so. We have Bev, okay, did about $500 in burns. Blocks did about almost $12,000 in burns. Aluminum, 21,000. Was that Explore?
About 50 grand.
Yeah, about 50 grand, which is huge compared to everything else. Nat G did about 1,600, BGLD 350, and yeah. And I mean, so the burns happened in the happening. So in case people didn't catch it, Rev did get listed as well. But October 1st, I was always excited about October 1st before the SEC came in, right? But October 1st was a happening in Explorer and a happening in aluminum. So the supply got cut in half, right? And then the mining rate got reduced. But I got excited because I know the same demand, if not greater, will be coming in. And I know that it created upward pressure. And when you look at the chart, Mike, maybe you could pull up the chart for aluminum. When we got in, aluminum went up 300% after the halving, right? Now, past performance doesn't guarantee future results, but the tokenomics and the principles are still the same. So when we got in, aluminum and Explorer, they did 300% after the halving. And so I got excited about this happening because I anticipate upward pressure as the supply is cut in half and the mining output is reduced. And not to mention we have massive sellers. So right now with this ecosystem, like I said, the SEC was, a blessing and a curse. But I mean, I think in the long term, it's going to be a major blessing for those who were able to accumulate a lot of tokens early on. And even right now, for you to accumulate tokens, is a massive opportunity. And I want to make sure I show you guys these numbers. Okay. And we could just do $500, but you can look right now, aluminum, or you can go to Explore. Let's go to Explore. XBLR. So if you were to take $500, you're trying to figure out, all right, the next 30 days, I need to make some, I want to have my $500 grow for me. And when you know what's going on with this project and everything else, I feel very confident in believing that these tokens will be at least before the SEC came in. I'm not saying all-time highs. I'm not saying even before Bev Day, which was higher than before the SEC came in. I'm just saying to get back to close that gap, okay, from all that sell pressure from where the SEC came in, just to get back to where we were before the SEC came. What is that return? What does that look like? So at 0.00006226, that's where we are right now. So if you bought tokens right now at that price, $500 worth, and you sold at what is that? 0.0021, let's say 0.0021. And that's not even the top of that high but you just say 0.0021. We're talking about, let's say $1,500. You're talking about $500 or $1,500, okay? And let's say you gave it a 90-day period, right? Which I'll be hard pressed to think that 90 days from now that these tokens are at the price that they are right now, with all the burns, with all the news that's about to come out. I'm telling you, 90 days right now. Hold on, 90 days. We're in 2024. Okay.
Yeah.
Like we got layer one launching, folks. We got stuff in Ghana already. I mean, I'm telling you, it's just a lot of news. We got Oklahoma. It's just a lot of news. I really find it hard to believe that in 90 days that these projects are only where we were before the SEC came in. So that's what was that? That was Explore we did?
Yep.
And that was Explore. So same thing, you go to aluminum, right? And I think Explorer would have been the best because I think the Explorer is the lowest, right now. What was that? 3081. 3081. And then we'll say 20003.
3361.
Yeah, you can see that.
3361.
So that's $2,200. So now it's like, all right, this is the whole thing. People wondering, where do I put my money? And once again, I'm saying in 9 months' time. This could happen in 30 days, as far as I'm concerned. Whereas people really was, because another thing that we're waiting for, folks, is that at the end of the month, everything with the judge and the TRO and all that stuff should really be finalized, really be settled. So I really think at the end of the month, we're going to have a lot of good news. There's going to be official statements and releases of information from the debt box as well. So I was saying in 90 days, but I really don't believe that. I really see that in 30 days, quite frankly. But understand, what I'm showing you only happens if you buy at these prices, which means that it's very time sensitive. So which means is, where are you going to put your money? Where's the best place to put your money right now? You're looking at things. Where's the best place to put your money? Right? Solana, maybe. You got to wait for the next bull run, right?
Good point. Yep.
You got to wait for the next bull run. You know what I mean? And hope that Solana does what it does. But at this point, it's like $500 or $1,000. Just getting back to before the SEC came in. Where's my money probably going to go to further? And it's the thing about it too. We know what the debt box is doing. We know what they've done. We know where the money's coming in. We know they just beat the SEC on the TRO. Like, there's so much supporting, events and evidence, to make somebody very confident and being able to take advantage of an opportunity like this. But once again, this is not going to last. I'm just telling you right now. More and more people are going to realize this, and the price of 0.00812 is not going to be there for you. And so as the price goes up, you're getting less tokens. This is why we talk about, don't value your wealth in dollars. Don't look at it and say, well, oh, it's only this amount of dollars right now per token. It's, or whatever it is. Value your wealth in quantity. I wanted to accumulate massive amounts of these tokens because I understood as the value goes up, there's a multiplier effect. There is a multiplier effect that kind of takes place. And so, I wanted to definitely make sure, like on this live stream today, I was like, yo, yesterday I wasn't feeling too well. The voice was down. I just really wanted to help people get, like, where's the value right now? And I talk about exploring aluminum because one of the things about the happenings that took place already, and then the news that's going to come out, after this lawsuit and everything is done at the end of the month. So it's just massive opportunity for those who take advantage, because these prices won't be this low. They're not going to stay here. And that's where the opportunity is, being able to accumulate a lot of these tokens low at this price. And what you got there, Mike? Go ahead.
Yeah. So if we just go back to the all-time high of 3 cents with $500, we're looking at about $18,000 from 500. 1,000 gets us to 36,000. This is just going back to the all-time high of 3 cents with aluminum.
And understand something. Aluminum got to that all-time high because the same type of demand. This is a year later, though, folks. This is over a year ago. I want you. This is. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say its halving was on October 1st.
Yeah.
So you can see what happened last year. It was less than a penny, and because the amount of tokens being produced daily by aluminum got cut in half, you saw this huge run up to 3 cents. Okay, and then like anything, it's going to come down. Now this is probably where it should have stopped, but then we had Bev Day.
Yep.
And then that kind of kept things going down, and then the SEC.
Right.
So we should have seen a huge spike up here, but because of the SEC, even really on October 1st, I guess that's when the SEC.
Well, the trust wasn't buying and all that, and then there's still a lot of stuff going on. So the SEC really just kind of, I'm telling you right now, if the SEC didn't come in, the prices would not be this low. But now the SEC has been proven that they straight up lied. You know what I mean? understand something, that during this whole time from 3 cents, there has been burns taking place every single month. Burns, okay. And then of course now we have another halvening. Okay, so now that so remember what gave that first halvening, that price bump. Well, now not only was it the supply cut in half then, but the supply got cut in half again, which is on this. So you're literally having, you know what I'm saying, like two halvenings, and you saw what happened on the first. You have massive burns, and now we have liquidity getting ready to come back into this ecosystem. Now we got the world realizing that the debt box is legit, and they beat the SEC on the fraud on the TRO. And then you have the news that's coming out about the ecosystem and the layer one blockchain and everything else. Massive opportunity, folks. I can see this. I can see aluminum probably hitting 10 cents. You know what I mean? I can see aluminum hitting 10 cents. Maybe in the next 90 days, not 30. I would say maybe 90. Layer one release. It could happen sooner, honestly. I mean, because when you look at like what Mike just showed you, after the halvening, what happened to the price? Nothing changed. Everything was the same. The you know what I'm saying? I mean, the halvening took place. I'm assuming the buying pressure was the same. We'll look at the burns. We can go back and look. But I mean, the buying pressure is still there, right? Even if it's the same buying pressure from the trust, okay? Now you're talking about another halvening, so the supply is even lower. That creates upward pressure. You know, that is why we got excited about the debt box, understanding that if nobody buys this token, that's what people got to realize. A lot of these crypto projects out there, even Solana, if nobody buys Solana, what is the price of Solana? Zero. If no, you see, you always need somebody to buy it. But one thing about the debt box project and their tokens, if nobody buys aluminum, if nobody buys Explorer, there's always going to be one buyer that gets tens of millions of dollars and is always going to buy these tokens and burn them. And that's the trust. There is no project out here like that. I don't know any other project out here where if nobody buys it, the value, and there are mechanisms and functions where the price will go up. And especially you're talking about backed by commodities too. And you're talking about revolutionary technology, and you got a, layer one and a phenomenal debt team and everything else. There's nothing else out here like that with that type of validity, with that type of backing, with that type of system. Everything, a lot of stuff is hype, hope, speculation, and false promises. People have been talking about for a long time. 90% of stuff that's in this crypto market is going to go away. A lot of these projects are not going to be here. 90%, 95% of them are not going to be there. But I'm telling you, and nobody knows when exactly that's going to happen. But I'm telling you right now, the debt box ain't going nowhere. The debt box ain't going nowhere. Okay, it doesn't matter what happens, especially once we launch layer one. Ain't going nowhere, folks. It's game over. So it's just helping people understand that value right now with the opportunity at the token prices this low. That's the opportunity. There's opportunity in having the tokens in general. There's opportunity in having the nodes. But because of what the SEC did, they created an unprecedented opportunity to have unusual profits, unusual gains because of where the prices is right now. That's the opportunity. That's the timing.
So those of you asking, the name of the token is aluminum, just like the one on the, somebody said a cell. Wow. Aluminum, like on the periodic chart. So you can see here, this 48E9, that's the trust. That's why all these here are buys from the trust other than these two cells. So somebody just sold 110,000 aluminum for $89. Maybe they're buying debt. I don't know. So you can go to dexscreener.com and find aluminum and find it on PancakeSwap by coming up here to the top right.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
That's all good. All right. The other one is Explorer XPLR. That's the satellite. You can find that one on DexScreener as well. So those are both down. And
yeah, and you can buy it on PancakeSwap. Before you get to that BRICS article, the BRICS article, and I want to pull something up on my screen. The only way I can share it is I have to hit share screen. So I'm gonna just pull it up real quick. Yeah. Share full screen. Can you see that, Mike? What do you see?
Yeah, I can see it. It's kind of not
DexScreener, right?
clear. Yeah, it's DexScreener.
Okay, so this is a screenshot because I'll be wondering. I'm like, who is selling right now? Like, I really like. Is it? I'm thinking it's traders, or I'm thinking it's just people who don't know what they're doing, Or I'm thinking it's just people who have, a lot of tokens that they're mining daily because they bought a lot of nodes and they just don't care. They're just using it as an ATM machine they're pulling out daily. And then so I looked at this wallet. Here's somebody, I don't know who it is, but they bought on August 5th, right? And they bought $249 worth. And then what's this, last night, I looked at this sale and I'm like, well, who just sold $223 worth? And you can look at their wallet and it's like, why would you sell right now? Like I really, this is obviously to me somebody who doesn't even know what's going on or don't know what they're doing, because they bought it. You can see the price they bought it at, and you can see the price they sold at. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't make sense. So a lot of time people saying, well, who's selling? Who's selling? Who's selling? You just got people who don't know what they're doing. And I look at a lot of other wallets, and sometimes I saw a wallet where there was nothing but sales, and they were doing like hundreds of dollars or $1,000, and literally going back to like last year, they've done nothing but sell. So I've assumed that this is somebody who has X amount of nodes, who's just using it as an ATM, and they don't care what the price is. They're just extracting dollars. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what this ecosystem is for. Huh?
I missed my soundboard. I wanted to hit the stupid button.
Yeah. That's what this ecosystem is for. But why would you sell? They bought at a higher price and they sold at a lower price. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think that's smart.
Yeah, I don't think that's smart neither. So, but this is the thing: let them sell, because people are going to be upset that they've sold and not understanding. Like that $200, what was it? $223. If he just waited 30 days or 90, even if it took 90 days, we just showed you what $500 would do. You see what I'm saying? And so that's just, so people wondering who is selling. You just got some stupid, stupid. You don't know.
I gotta get that thing fixed. I don't know what happened. But Bianca, it's dexscreener.com.
And you can buy on Dex Screener too. You can buy. There's a button on there. Maybe you can pull that up and show them, Mike.
Is it
click on trade on
Pancake Swap.
And then what happens is a little pop-up window pop up. You would click on connect MetaMask. You would connect your MetaMask. And then obviously if you have some USDT or some BNB, you can swap that for DET token. And then when you swap that for DET token, you take your DET token and you swap that for whatever other project token you want in the DET ecosystem, Aluminum, Explorer, whatever have you. You'll be able to do that.
So DET is at $4.49 a day, so still pretty much staying steady.
Yeah.
Now, Robert Kiyosaki is one of our financial mentors, and he always says saving in dollars is for losers. And apparently there's lots of countries around the world that think that as well. So M.I.M.S, do you want to break this down about why the BRICS to completely ditch the US dollar in 3 years is such a big deal?
Yeah, folks. I mean, so we've been telling you, how are you measuring your wealth? Because a lot of people are still probably measuring it in dollars. How many dollars in your bank account? What is the dollar amount of this particular asset or resource or commodity? But understand something, that the United States dollar will be ditched by the emerging markets, Saudi Arabia for oil and everything else. They're saying we will no longer be forcing people to use the dollar for trade. Okay. And so that's going to create massive inflation. That's literally the dollar losing its world reserve currency status. The lifestyle that we enjoy here in America was because of the power of the dollar. We're no longer going to have that within 3 years and beyond. And so that means that the reality, that moment where your zeitgeist, your worldview, a lot of people just won't be able to process it, because they're used to they have a normalcy bias, complacency bias. They're going to suffer from cognitive dissonance. They say, how did this happen? But this is happening, folks. There's nothing that the Federal Reserve can do about it. All the Federal Reserve can do is print money and control interest rates. The more they print, it accelerates the problem. The more they mess around the interest rates, accelerates the problem. It doesn't matter. There's literally nothing that they can do to stop this, which is called de-dollarization. The world is dumping dollars. They're dumping treasuries, or they're no longer using dollars for between trade. Okay. And other countries are now using other currencies to buy oil and things of this nature. So this is huge. People don't understand the ramifications of this. If they think inflation is bad now, we talked about supply and demand in the debt ecosystem. Well, what happens when you have all these dollars out here chasing a finite amount of goods and resources. The finite amount of goods and resources are going to explode in price. It's the same thing we talk about supply and demand. So when you have all these dollars that are overseas, trillions of dollars that are overseas, when you have all this money that has been printed, when you have people, the dollar's a hot potato. Remember that game, hot potato? You didn't want to be the last one stuck with that hot potato. You was trying to get rid of it. Okay, hot potato. That's what this is. So people are getting rid of dollars. They're dumping treasuries. They're not buying as many treasuries as they were. And what are they doing with them? They're buying commodities. They're buying assets. They're buying land. This is why they said the tokenization of assets is going to be the biggest boom, because not only is there massive money going to run into blockchain and crypto, but it's going to be into commodities, the resources. This is why Grow is so big and what we're doing in Ghana, over 100 acres of land that we're growing agriculture, shipping it around the world, providing jobs for people in Ghana. This is why the Grow token is so huge, understanding the inflation. We got war going on. What is this? The distribution chain supply disruptions and things of this nature. We got economic collapse and everything going on. So the dollar is not something that you want to hold long term and value your wealth. And you want to take your dollars and buy assets right now while they're low. Silver, still 50% from its all-time high. Mike, during the pandemic, what they print? 60% of currency that they printed since the inception of the country? Something crazy like that?
Yeah, 40 or 50%, I think.
40 or 50% of currency since this country was created was printed in the last couple of years. And silver, an industrial metal, still sitting at 50% below its all-time high. Below its all-time high. Massive opportunity in physical silver. That's why we say never stop stacking physical silver. Can you imagine when the manipulation, because it's JP Morgan, their bankers, their traders, the central banks that have been rigging and manipulating the paper derivative market of precious metals for decades. That manipulation and rigging is coming to an end. The Bank of International Settlements in the world is going back to a commodity-backed, asset-backed, gold and silver-backed economy. Okay, and it's going to be on a blockchain. But those of us who hold in a physical asset, it's just a matter of time. And you can see there the silver price performance over the last 20 years, up 364%. The dollar over the last 20 years lost over 98% of its purchasing power, whatever. I mean, the dollar has gone down. Okay, so you're better off holding silver as far as savings. And it's the thing that I think about a lot of time, Mike, and people just don't know. It's like everything that I just said, and it's worse than that. But there are people who holding on to paper money in their retirement accounts. You know what I mean? And we know that the market is overvalued right now. We know that the market is where it is because the Federal Reserve had rates at zero. The banks were buying back their stocks. But now we have banks that haven't properly allocated for higher rates, which we're in right now. They're losing money. Folks, we got hundreds of banks closing down right now. We got hundreds of banks and businesses closing down in 2024. Okay, the situation is getting, critical. It's really at a critical point. So this is why we talk about saving your money in gold and silver and investing in blockchain and crypto, XLM, XRP, XDC, debt box token, debt box projects, crypto backed by commodities and things of this nature.
This is the first time seeing of this. Dutch bank ABN AMRO made headlines by issuing a bond of 450,000 on the Stellar XLM blockchain.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Stellar, folks. We've been telling people, look, Stellar's going to be huge. XRP, I even saw Roblox. You can use XRP in Roblox now, Mike.
What?
Yeah, I saw it. Yep, Roblox, XRP. Yo, so I'm just telling you, XRP, XLM, XDC, like this is my portfolio. People want to know where my biggest bags, XRP, and debt projects. Really, that's it. I mean, I got some XLM and XDC, definitely. But my biggest bags right now, I don't want to speculate too much because there's a lot of stuff out here, folks. And sometimes you spread yourself too thin. You'll spread yourself too thin and you will never experience real gains. Me and Mike did that early on. We had like our money in so many different projects. And we were like, yo, if all that money we consolidated into one project, it was the right project and it popped, we'd have been on 7 figures, 8 figures. But it's because we spread our money around in so many different things as opposed to having like a top 5. Have a top 5 and just keep adding to that because you want a bag. You want a big bag of some things. You don't want a little bag of a lot of things. You want a big bag of some things, right? So I got a big bag in Explorer, big bag in aluminum, big bag in XRP. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain things that I got big bags in. And I'm just going to keep adding to those bags because just a little price movement, because you have such a big bag, is huge. But if you got a little bit in every little thing, you're not really, because probably 8 of them things gonna collapse, or they're not gonna perform the way you thought, or that same amount of money put into those projects where there was gonna be some value, and you had a big bag in it. That's why I get excited about that box and XRPXM. That box already went through the fire with SEC, folks. They already went through the fire. So you want a big bag in this because you already know it's tested, it's proven. We already verified everything. So it's just a matter of time at this point. Either it's this year, next year, the halvenings are taking place, the burns are taking place, where this ecosystem is going. You can play around and put a lot of money in a lot of little things and then speculate, or you can put a lot of money into a thing that is going to give you a return. That has already been through the fire. It's already legitimate. It's already has what I'm saying? And then when you have a big bag, I'm telling you, you don't need it to move that much. You don't need that big movement that a lot of people are hoping for in their projects so they can make money if you have a big enough bag. So go ahead, Mike.
So it does look like that was some fake news that got spread by Coin Telegraph.
Okay.
It was made by BitPay on a now deleted X post.
See, BitPay, I thought was, so when somebody got started on TikTok, it was like, but nonetheless, though, folks, doesn't take away from XRP's value at all.
Right. And it's only a matter of time until, they're going to be using XRP in video games.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, I think that's it. Let me just hit one more on, why you want to measure your wealth in ounces when it comes to gold and silver. Guys, that's what the banks are doing. The banks are buying an unprecedented amount of physical gold and silver, and everything we've talked about today, right? Everything with the debt box, with Bitcoin, is the amount of the token goes down. There is less and less of it, which causes the value to go up. The dollar is continually increasing. Okay. There's more and more dollars, which means it's worth less and less. You need more and more of it. I was in, when I was in Dubai, their currency is about, or our currency is about 4 times stronger. So for every $1 American, you needed about 4, I think it was, what was it? UAD, something like that. No, AED. That was an AED. So there was all these things. So, I go to buy a cheeseburger, and it's like $40 on their dollars. So I'd have to cut it in 4. It's like, oh, it's 10 American dollars. So that, that will happen to us one day. We'll go to buy a burger. It'll be $50. We won't even think about it. Oh, $50 for a burger. Yeah. And it's just that slow boil, that frog in the boiling pot, slowly just turning up the heat. Inflation going up 3% a year, 3% a year. Well, what happens when inflation goes up 3% a year for 10, 20, 30 years? You're paying $50 for a burger.
Yeah.
And, you can go and talk to your grandparents. They were buying burgers for a dime, a quarter. I remember, 39 cents. Okay. And now it's, I don't even know, $2, $3 just for a burger at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like what? I used to get a whole meal for that.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to happen, guys. So the question is, how do you measure your wealth? How are you storing it? You are guaranteed to lose if you are doing it in dollars. That's why we always say, I don't want to be a millionaire. What's the point of being a millionaire?
Be a billionaire.
Yeah. You want to be a billionaire. A million ounces. Give me a million ounces of silver all day long.
Hell yeah.
Over $1 million. Over $10 million. I'd rather have a million ounces of silver easy.
I remember I did a video about Five Guys. Five Guys at one time was the best $5 burger around. Now you're paying $12, $15 for the same burger.
Yeah.
I remember I did a video. I was in Popeyes. I'm like, man, a dollar can't even get you a biscuit. I was upset. I'm like, damn, I got $1. I can't even get a biscuit. A biscuit, though. You know what I mean? It was crazy. So Yeah, the food inflation is real. Like it's getting worse out here, and so you just can't value it in dollars. And the thing is like if you have retirement accounts or even insurance, it's like whatever it is, if it's valued in dollars in 10, 20 years, where is it projected? The purchasing power of the dollar. What is it going to buy you? And we know in 5, 10, 20 years, internationally, the dollar's done.
And again, guys, this Facebook user brings up a good point here. The inflation number they're telling you is a lie.
Yeah,
Okay, they manipulate the numbers. Real inflation is probably closer to 15 to 20% minimum. And on some stuff, like you're saying for food, I've seen a lot of reports saying it's over 50%,
yeah.
or it's close to being doubled from where it was last year. So they don't count stuff like that. They basically don't count the things that matter.
Yeah, they don't count food. They don't count gas. Yeah, like the things that matter in your
Energy.
life that you're spending. Yeah, energy. They don't count that. There's core CPI and there's the other metric that they go by. But understand it's all about perception. Even the market. The reason the market is up right now because it's an MK Ultra psyop type of thing where if the market is up, people feel better. They go out and spend money. But if the market is down, people are a bit fearful and they don't go out and spend. And this is a consumerism economy. If people check their 401k and they see the 401k is up, they feel better and they go out and do home improvements and things of that nature. But if they see the market is down, they do less spending. So, this is a house of cards. It's collapsing right before our eyes. And live streams and people who share information like this, it's just going to go down as legendary. It's like they were so ahead of the time. They were telling people what to do. But, next year is coming, 2024 election, Bitcoin happening. We got all kind of wars and rumors of wars brewing. Okay. 2025 is coming. 2030 is coming. You know what I mean? And when you start to put a little vision, put a little foresight, you start to project, start to see the trend. And then once you do that, you have to hedge. You have to diversify. You have to accumulate things of real value. So once again, how are you valuing your wealth? Value your wealth in assets. Value your wealth in commodities. Value your wealth in quantity. Even relationships. Even in these times, if you can eliminate stress, okay, because stress is the number one killer right there. Like you just got to eliminate stress, eliminate negative people. Value your wealth in your skills and your resources. Value your wealth in your knowing that regardless of what happens, for all the type of potential scenarios that can go down, that you're hedged or prepared in some way. That is wealth. You are the money. You are the value. You are the wealth. But how are you using yourself? How are you applying yourself? You know what I'm saying? How are you valuing yourself? When we talk about how you value your wealth in dollars, how are you valuing yourself? So that's why we talk about mindset. That's why we talk about, relationships. That's why we talk about skills. And then of course, we got to talk about money, gold and silver and crypto.
And as we close it down here, the number one financial literacy program we have found to help people wherever they are at is Smart Finance.
Yeah.
To save more, fix or repair or improve your credit, pay less taxes, be able to, literally call up a tax professional whenever you want, how to eliminate your debt, how to get the best health insurance on the free market, get help with any legal issues or matters you might have, how to grow your small business or get access to capital, everything you need in one place. So wherever you're watching Facebook or YouTube, just look down in the description and get in the free Runners app to see the videos on Smart Finance and how this can help you thrive during these times, as long as, of course, you are not measuring your wealth in dollars.
Yeah, and it's critical people remember that. The reason we're on this 90-day run is because of Smart Finance. We found so much value in this platform dealing with AI, innovation, revolutionary resources, and teams. If you do not have a team, I want you to feel confident that you have a team that handles your taxes, that handles your credit, that handles your legal work, that handles your debt, solutions. something that handles your business solutions and helps. I want you to have a team. And we got so excited about this because this is only $60, folks. $60. And you got a whole team that are using AI, revolutionary technology, innovation, proven results, resources. You have unlimited consultation and all type of stuff that comes with this service, okay, for $60, no contract. So if you don't have a team right now, I'm not talking about I have an individual who, does this, one particular thing. I'm talking about a team that's using AI. And you're only paying, just one of these services to pay $60, no contract is huge. But you're talking about $60, no contract, Tax Pro, Legal Pro, Credit Pro, Health Pro, Debt Pro, Save Pro, Biz Pro. Even if you pay the $60 one time for that month, just to make sure all those areas were checked off, that whatever you had a plan for all those areas, pay the $60, let them check your plan. Let them see what results they come up for you. And if they come up with a better result as a team with the AI and everything, you need to rock with Smart Finance. Pay that $60 a month, no contract, and utilize this team than what you were using. Get a second opinion. But for $60, that's a no-brainer. Everybody needs to give that, run that by, themselves and their family. Look, I want to pay $60. I'm going to see what they're going to do with my taxes. Help me get some money back on previous taxes. They're going to help you adjust your W-4. You're probably paying too much money right now. There's some money that you can get back on your check right now. You don't know it. If you're working right now, you need to go ahead and pay $60. Get Tax Pro, have them adjust your W-4 so you can get some more money back. Because more than likely, you didn't adjust your W-4, and you should adjust that every single year. So you've probably been at the job 2, 3, 4, 5 years and never adjusted your W-4 and don't realize the benefits that are out there for you and how much money you're leaving on the table. Stop leaving money on the table because of ignorance. You got platforms with teams, innovation, AI, $60, no contract. Tax Pro, Legal Pro. This is why we're doing a 9-day run. So I'm just as excited about this as everything else that we talked about because of the value, folks. The real value. That's what gets me excited. Not the comp plan. Comp plan is great. But when we talk about it, if you want to increase your passive income, increase your passive impact in people's lives.
Yes.
Bring real value to them. Bring real resources. Bring real services. Right? So look, folks, everybody should take advantage of Smart Finance. Like Mike said, get inside the Runners app. And all the videos, links under the Runners app, everything is there.
And yes, you can pay in crypto if you want to. You can set up a card to run every month, or I believe you can just pay with crypto every month if you want to. You just got to remember to do that.
Yeah. So you can pay in crypto for Smart Finance, folks. Look, why not? Give them a try. $60, no contract. Let me know. I already know, but go ahead.
Well, I think let me put up the schedule, but I think that's good for today. Tomorrow, we'll be doing trading Zoom. So if you guys want to learn how to trade, and we'll probably go over a few other things as well. We'll be on Zoom tomorrow at noon. That's at soundmoneysecrets.com. Soundmoneysecrets.com, where all of our Zooms are at. So we'll go over some trading tomorrow. And I was pissed. I was in Dubai and missed all those calls, man. They were on fire this weekend. Up 50. There was like 3 or 4 up 50%, another one up 80%. So I got to get back to that schedule of doing those some day trades and making a little extra money.
Yeah, man, make sure y'all like this out, share this out. This was a fire live stream. I feel it. I feel electrified.
You brought it, brother. You brought it.
From this live stream, folks. So much value here. There's something for everybody. Whether you're going to take advantage of the debt box tokens at these temporary low prices, that's a time-sensitive opportunity. Whether you take advantage of Smart Finance, $60, no contract, and get your financial house in order holistically, all around, full solution, AI, innovation, a whole team, okay? Or whether you take advantage of getting silver at these massively low prices, physical silver and gold. 50% from its all-time high, massive money printing. So much opportunity. I'm excited for the future, folks. We got a lot of crises. There's a lot of negative things going on, but there's also a lot of opportunity. And we're going to
Oh.
make it on the other side of this. We're going to make it. And we want you to be wealthy.
Yeah, that's the key, guys, is they're going to be throwing stuff at you left and right. Look over here, look over there. There's a war here, Jada Pinkett, Will Smith, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, whatever it is, stay focused.
Yeah.
There's opportunity everywhere if you're looking in the right thing and you have the right mindset.
And keep in mind, I mean, folks, we got a divided ass government right now, and we don't have a Speaker of the House. Ain't no laws getting passed, ain't no bills getting passed, and we got Trump coming up 2024. We got just a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff, but we really got a divided government. We don't got a Speaker of the House right now.
Right.
They ain't doing no work. They ain't doing no work. And so who knows who's going to be the Speaker of the House when we got obviously a government shutdown again coming up. What is it? Is it the 17th of November?
I don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah, I got you. No,
it's all. I
Yeah.
used to care about all that stuff, all that political stuff, and I realized it's just a fugazi.
Yeah. Well, folks, we got it's going to be a lot of events, like Mike said, being thrown at you, a lot of situations and circumstances. And you definitely want to be abreast to it because the landscape is ever shifting, and you want to be able to make necessary moves given the pieces that are being moved on the chessboard right now. But we know that we're doing the right things regardless of what takes place by accumulating assets, valuing our wealth and assets, commodities, crypto and things of that nature. And we want to make sure that we get that message out because this is what we're doing. You don't have to do it, but this is what we're doing. We know this is what works, and we're looking at the data, and it's the solution that has been given to us and that we're giving to y'all. So make sure y'all like this out, share this out. Y'all running with the runners, man. Lace up.
Let's get